Story 1. I have a Samsung Galaxy, and it randomly selects a picture I took years ago and sends me a notification reminding me of it. Why? Story 2. Anything related to Gemini or artificial intelligence. I do not care. I will not use artificial intelligence to get directions or any kind of information that Google can provide. Stop forcing this on me. Story 3. Those pointless rate your experience pop-ups after every call or app use. No, I do not want to review my calculator. Story 4. Google often asks me to rate the hotel I visited today. I walked past a hotel and stopped for a moment to check my phone. I feel like Google is trying to get me divorced. Story 5. Life 360 continuously tells me to turn off battery saver. All day, I swipe the notification away, and it comes back within minutes. The worst part is that I do not even use battery saver on my phone. Story 6. Amber alert. Some town a few hundred miles away. White Kia. When I look at the clock, it is 2:30 a.m. Well, I guess I should get in my truck and drive around keeping my eyes out for a white Kia. Not. But it is tough to get back to sleep after hearing that alarm go off. Story 7. Literally all of them. I just want texts and phone calls. I do not need an endless barrage of nonsense 24 hours a day. Story 8. When I drive somewhere and start my car to head home, Google Maps tells me how to get home. Yes, I already know how to if I have done it enough that the phone knows. I do not even use Google Maps. Story 9. Apparently, my phone cannot find my left earbud. The earbud's last known location is apparently work. The earbud is currently in its case on my desk. I am looking right at it. Story 10. I genuinely cannot get rid of the notification that my own Apple AirTag keeps following me, no matter how many times I clear it. Story 11. When my child sends a message 17 times, each one saying mom, 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 then he calls me to make sure I saw the original very important message. I really do love him. Story 12. The most frustrating moment was when I got out of my car after going through stop and start traffic with my phone buzzing all the time. I was worried, wondering if people were trying to get a hold of me. I pulled over, and a message appeared. iPhone has switched to driver mode. Well, thanks a lot for the anxiety spike. Story 13. Not a notification, but the Samsung Pay application. I always swipe up and open it when I do not mean to. I cannot figure out how to disable it. Story 14. Your cellular data is turned off. Of course, I turned it off. I would understand if I was doing something related to the internet and was not connected to Wi-Fi, but I am connected to Wi-Fi, so please stop. Story 15. There's water in your charging port. I went to a festival in Sydney in November and my phone got wet. Since then, sporadically when I plug my phone into charge, it sounds like a foghorn telling me there's water in the charging port when there really isn't. I think the rain might have damaged my connections, and the only fix is to switch the phone off, wait a minute, and plug it in before switching it back on. It drives me mad as I use my phone for gaming a lot when I'm out and about, so the battery gets a hammering. Story 16. My very low glucose notifications from my continuous glucose monitor app occur when my sugar levels reach 55 or lower. You can turn off all other notifications except that one, and it will continue to alert you until you take action. That counts, right? Story 17. The battery notification asks if I want to go into low power mode or save power mode. No, I never want that. Full power all the time. I can literally see how much battery I have left. There is no need for a notification about it. Story 18. Microsoft Teams is asking me to verify my phone number to continue using the application. I have never used Microsoft Teams. Please leave me alone. I cannot remove the application either. Story 19. I'm sure I could turn it off somehow if I was motivated enough, but recently, after having it for about 2 years, my phone received some kind of update and suddenly decided I needed to get weather update notifications several times a day. For example, it will rain in 53 minutes. Story 20. My boyfriend and I only text through Facebook Messenger. I get notifications like, boyfriend's name updated his profile picture. So I think, yay, he's awake, because we have a time difference. But when I click, It says the profile picture was updated 6 days ago. I know that because we talked a few hours ago. I find it frustrating. Story 21. Reading out the entire phone number before allowing me to listen to the voice message changed a few updates ago. It is very annoying. Story 22. Apple and their annoying volume warnings. Why are you acting like my mother? I turn it up more just to spite them. Story 23. I have opted in to SportsCenter push notifications, specifically for reminders when my college basketball team is playing, among a few others. Despite the fact that I have never expressed interest in the Women's National Basketball Association, they are constantly sending me notifications about it. They do not send Formula One, golf, or soccer notifications because I did not ask for those. But the Women's National Basketball Association? Apparently, they have to let me know. Story 24. One of the furnaces at work has a faulty smoke alarm that alerts me several times a day for the past 2 months. It is on the same channel as the other furnaces, so I cannot just mute it. Story 25. My dad has an application on his Android device that sounds like a siren, and we cannot figure out which application is making that noise. It is horrible. Story 26. Voicemail is full. I know I don't check voicemail. No one under 40 checks voicemail. If it is important, you will text me. Stop telling me. Story 27. Ring neighbors. I cannot turn it off. If people are losing their pets this much, they should not have them in the first place. Story 28. Reading my texts out loud. I have turned that off, but Siri still reads them and describes any picture someone sends to me. This is causing problems at work because Siri often says something not safe for work. Story 29. Voicemail. I do not want to hear a supposed message from a robot or random telemarketer telling me about a debt I do not have. The worst thing is that on 3 cell phones I have had, this keeps happening. Story 30. Okay, I do not know if this counts or not, but I turned off the notifications on Google Play. Every time I open the app, I receive a notification telling me to turn on notifications so I can get important updates and notifications. Story 31. Yahoo Mail. Please check your inbox so you do not miss any important emails. 20 times every day with no way to turn this off. Story 32. Emergency broadcast system alerts. There is nothing that bad going to happen where I live outside of World War III, and there is nothing I can do about that one anyway. I ended up buying an unlocked cell phone online from another country, Japan, so I would not get any alerts at all. Story 33. Anything that comes across when I am working that I accidentally tap. Holy jeez. I also do not care about closing my activity rings. Story 34. Advertisements do not count. I am pretty sure advertisements are illegal without permissions from the millions of customers. It is only legal for corrupt businesses and governments, federal and local. Big pharmaceutical companies engage in unethical practices. Story 35. Those emergency alerts in Korea are often not actual emergencies. If you cannot read Korean, you might panic and think that earthquakes, tsunamis, or tornadoes are occurring frequently. Story 36. Amber and police alerts. I would have trouble identifying a family member out of a lineup, and I cannot tell my son's white Honda Civic apart from the small white Ford parked next to it. Story 37. A delivery site. You have to agree to notifications, but then you have to put up with their sports announcement specials. Be game day ready. Story 38. Instagram. 3 times a day, almost every day. It's example sexy Simi Kaneho bitch is now following you on Instagram and then promptly shows her homepage. Profile says cute girl, sexy model with her real name and the Ukrainian, Slovenian, Canadian, and Vietnamese flags, plus pictures of her in inappropriate poses, like her lying face down in a microthong with large breast implants on the hood of a 1984 Maserati Kyalami. No matter how many times I hit delete, she keeps coming back and threatening to report me to the police if I keep deleting her profiles. Story 39. Unrelated, but I have tried all the advised methods and Reddit is still stuck on night mode. It has been months. Story 40. Not so much my phone, but Instagram insists on notifying me about so many things I do not care about. So-and-so posted a story. So-and-so commented on a post. So-and-so liked a reel, and so on. I literally do not care what other people are doing on the app. I just want to know if someone has interacted with my posts. I have turned all of those notifications off, but I still get dozens every day. It is infuriating. Facebook does it too, but I have found if I turn off those notifications, they stay off. I still get many pointless ones a day, though. It insists on notifying me every time a page I follow has posted, just that one specific page, even though I have those notifications off. We all know it is to keep you opening the app and interacting with it, but it does not make it any less annoying. Story 41. I hear a boing sound several times a day. I have no idea which application is causing it or what it means. There is no notification or pop-up, just the boing sound. This is on a Samsung Galaxy 20. Story 42. After a fallout with my family last year, I kept receiving group chat notifications. Apparently, I could not leave the chat because I never created it. However, I managed to have the notification sent to spam, so if I want to check, I can do it manually now. Story 43. I was looking at the settings for my iPhone, mostly to see what I could change if I wanted. Somehow, I must have changed something because now I get a pop-up that says personal between an icon for the user and what looks like a dismiss button that does not actually dismiss. Below all of that, it says on. One time, I caught it saying off before switching it to on. This notification always appears in the center of the top of the screen, according to the phone's orientation. It stays there for 5 seconds before disappearing. Although the dismiss button does not work, I can flick it off the top of the display. It does not really matter to me, but when it started, I worried that something was trying to look at something on my phone and that it was a warning. Apparently, it is just letting me know that I am in personal mode. There are other modes, such as work and home, but I cannot determine which app is responsible for the display, so I can turn it off. Story 44. Can we all agree that notifications should be off by default? I have never wanted them on, but I always have to turn them off. Story 45. My phone sends me a warning that my headphone volume is dangerously high. It is connected to the Bluetooth in my car, not headphones. I cannot turn it off. Story 46. If I want Instagram message notifications on, it still sends me random story and post notifications. Yes, I turn them off, but it still does it. Story 47. Someone is typing in Snapchat. Just tell me when they are done and send the message. Why should I care that they are typing? It is just a poor way to increase the number of notifications you receive. Story 48. Something that says I have no viruses every few hours. Edit. I just got it again, and what it actually says is, malware scan finished. Story 49. Voicemail I do not check. If you cannot call me, text me. I also live in an area with spotty service, so voicemail comes up often. I cannot delete or opt out of voicemail. Story 50. When I open a Google application on my phone, it displays the message Gmail address logged in at the bottom of the screen for 10 seconds. This notification prevents me from pressing anything underneath it during that time. Story 51. I have an iPhone, so I either have to have all the notifications or none of them. Story 52. T-Mobile bloatware. It was not this bad on AT&T. I cannot get these notifications to stop. I disable them and they re-enable themselves. The phone has become self-aware. It must promote unnecessary phone carrier features. Story 53. Google Play notifications are just advertisements or nothing important. Either way, the one new notification stays on. Luckily, it is only in the app, so I do not have to see it outside of it. Story 54. My friend receives a notification from Snapchat every day. It says that our mutual friend, who passed away about a year ago, has posted a story. Nothing has been posted on his account since his death, so we have no idea why it is sending her these notifications. Story 55. I sent a text message from my iPhone. I would like to have an alert when I receive a text. I do not want to hear the strange sound when I send one, as I already know a message was sent. Story 56. Volume is too loud. I am very aware that playing music at maximum volume for long periods can damage my hearing. Story 57. Samsung is saying, Please click to accept our new terms and conditions, which will give us permission to collect much of your data. My Pixel 9 arrives today. Story 58. The annoying person from Yahoo asking if I want to review my unread emails every day at 9 a.m. There are never any emails. Story 59. My phone reminds me to clear space 2 to 3 days before it automatically installs games that I do not want. At least the pre-installed games are easy to delete. Story 60. Automation has run, changing the watch face when connecting to Bluetooth. There is no option to turn off notifications when it runs. Story 61. DoorDash sends me notifications all the time about restaurants in my area that I should try. However, they always send them when I am broke. Story 62. Ring keeps sending neighbor notifications. There is no way to turn them off. Ring insists you have at least one option checked. I really dislike this. I will not renew my Ring contract when it expires. This is not about my phone. It is about Ring. Story 63. I've turned off every notification sound on my phone except text messages and our cameras. At 9 p.m., my phone goes into sleep mode, which puts it on Do Not Disturb until the morning. The only person who can bypass this is my husband. Story 64. Battle.net notifications. I am not opposed to them and keep forgetting to turn them off, but they are mildly annoying. Also, the message your review on Maps has a response. I do not care. I left it. I am done. I do not care about some places attempting to win me back. I said what I said. Other than that, I hate it when Reddit attempts to force me to turn on pop-up notifications by not letting me see my notifications in the app. All I do is turn it on then right back off. Annoying. Story 65. Urgent low alarms from my continuous glucose monitor. I understand it is a medical device, but these alarms often give false lows. You cannot disable this alarm. It is extremely loud and shrill. You can suspend it for 6 hours, but I often sleep longer than 6 hours. Accidentally applying pressure to the sensor, such as during sleep, activates the alarm. I force close the app every night and when I go to the movies. Story 66. Every time I restart my phone, a constant notification appears that cannot be turned off, letting me know that I have not unlocked my secure folder. Story 67. I have a permanent notification that I need to unlock my secure folder to receive notifications from apps in it. It is a folder containing private pictures of me and my boyfriend. There are no apps in it. Story 68. People with Android devices can go into their app categories individually and turn off any notifications. Also, you can search notification history in your settings and look for annoying notifications there, then turn them off. Story 69. Some information about unlocking a secure folder, which I do not remember the password for and have never used. Story 70. The CVS application. I do not want notifications about sales or that kind of information. I just want to know when a prescription is ready. Story 71. My Galaxy Watch keeps sending me notifications about new time zone definitions that will be downloaded the next time my phone is restarted. I have restarted my phone 5 times in the past week trying to make it stop. Story 72. Keeps requesting an urgent update. You update it and it is some free game that you have to uninstall. Story 73. Do Not Disturb is turned on. Yes, I know. My Samsung has a permanent notification saying Do Not Disturb is on. It is infuriating. Story 74. Emergency alerts. I can, but I feel guilty for it. Also, I live in an area where these will be necessary soon due to hurricane season. Story 75. On iPhone, when I set a countdown alarm and the alarm sounds, it takes way too long for the alarm screen to appear so I can cancel the alarm. This is highly annoying when I am on the phone with someone or listening to my favorite podcast. First world problems. Story 76. The only notifications I have turned on outside of phone calls and text messages are for major weather problems and calendar reminders for things I need to do, such as appointments. Text messages can get annoying when people just keep sending them. Story 77. I have an iPhone, and when I click on photos or notes, it reminds me that my mobile data or Wi-Fi is off. I know. I don't want to be available or contactable all the time. Why do I need the internet to see things stored on my phone? Story 78. Sound notification is my alarm to wake up, and I cannot turn it off because I have a mortgage to pay. So annoying. Story 79. My period app needs to send me notifications, or I won't be prepared. Instead, it notifies me about something pointless every single day. I have similar issues with Uber and DoorDash. Story 80. I get text notifications, phone calls, and voicemails because I chose not to turn them off. I get meeting notifications that I program to go off. If my battery gets below 20%, it asks if I want to turn the battery saver on. I have turned everything else off, and I am very happy that my new phone no longer has that obnoxious blinking light. I am at peace. Story 81. The alarm clock application insists on waking me up every morning, and I cannot turn it off because I will lose my job if I do not get up and go to work. I know that is not what you meant, but I absolutely hate my alarm clock. Story 82. These apps for online shopping are annoying me. I would rather delete them than handle those annoying sale messages. Story 83. Battery low. Please enable low power mode. You might think setting an automation to enable low power mode at 30% would prevent this, but it does not. Story 84. Samsung, please update and accept the terms of service for Galaxy Store and services. I do not use their features, and I cannot turn off those account notifications. Story 85. For some reason, many shops send you a receipt on social media if you have one attached to your phone. I always get a bunch of notifications from social media that I almost never use, almost every time I buy something. Story 86. I have an Apple AirTag in my wallet in case I ever lose it. My phone detects when an Apple AirTag has been moving around with it and notifies me. I guess this is in case the AirTag belongs to someone who is not supposed to be moving around with me. However, the warnings are sometimes random, so I occasionally hear that annoying little sound it makes. The most annoying experience was at a conference where we were always in groups moving between buildings. After a few days, everyone in my group received the notification too. Everyone was worried until they asked me if I had seen the notification, and I explained the situation. Story 87. Not my phone, but my television. I have a Sony Android television, and I cannot get rid of the Sony marketing notifications. I have even gone into my Sony account, but as fast as I delete them, the notifications come back. Story 88. An application is using my location constantly. My phone wants me to turn it off. It is supposed to track my location. Story 89. Phone updates. I know there is an update, but I am not doing it. So please stop sending it to me every day at exactly 12:43 a.m. Story 90. The ones it sends when I am casting music to an external speaker. There I am, riding in my car, listening to a podcast, and then my phone interrupts with a notification about Facebook Messenger, or an email or anything. Story 91. Device usage statistics. I do not need to know that I have used my phone 24 minutes more or less this week. I will use my phone when I need to. Thank you, Samsung. Story 92. Galaxy Fold 3. If a new update is available and I dismiss scheduling it, sometimes because I do not want to deal with it at that moment or I am unsure when to schedule it, the device will randomly display a full-screen reminder to schedule the update within the next 24 hours. It continues to do this every time it is dismissed. I would not mind if it placed a persistent notification in the notification shade, but it fully takes over the screen regardless of what I am doing. Important video call? Not anymore. Navigating in the car? Be prepared to make a few clicks to dismiss it. Watching a video while doing the dishes? Unfortunate wet hands, no more video for you. I find it very frustrating. Story 93. I have a Samsung. It randomly sends me a notification every time a random person does something on Facebook, usually someone I have not spoken to in years. This lasts a few weeks, then stops, and later returns with someone else. Story 94. I have had a voicemail notification from Sky since I got the phone. When I call to try and clear the notification, it tells me there are no messages available. 5 minutes later, the notification comes back again. I am leaving Sky at the end of this contract purely because of it. Story 95. The "you've been listening too long" message is designed to protect you from hearing damage if you have had your earbuds in for an extended period or connected to any Bluetooth device. Unfortunately, it does not accurately detect the volume output. For example, I might be listening to a whispered scene in an audiobook, and every 5 minutes, I receive a notification sound at full volume. It even sounds when nothing is playing. Story 96. Not a notification, but my phone keeps turning on Wi-Fi trying to connect. I have unlimited data. I do not want to connect to Wi-Fi. Story 97. Offer up and their annoying deliberate notifications buried inside the Messages tab, making you constantly think you have a new real message. Etsy and the forced rating notifications. Story 98. I'm pretty sure that there's nothing I can't turn off, but it's probably emails. So much spam. Anything important, I guaranteed won't see it. Story 99. When my phone goes to night mode at 10 p.m., it chirps and the screen becomes very bright. It is really annoying when I am trying to fall asleep and need to get up early. Story 100. Kardashian content. I have no notifications on any of the applications that send me their updates, such as Snapchat and Google, but about twice a year, I receive a notification that Khloe posted on Snapchat or that Kourtney has a Google alert. I may be on their fan pages, but I did not request this. Story 101. My phone insists on sending me a notification of the weather each night, and I cannot dismiss it. If I do, it comes back immediately. Pixel 7. Story 102. Family Guy clips on Snapchat. I have blocked the account that posts them and turned off all notifications. I do not even use Snapchat anymore. Story 103. As soon as I put any volume on my phone because I am expecting a phone call, I get British Broadcasting Corporation news sound notifications coming in. Story 104. Are you receiving notifications through channels other than text messages and your preferred instant messaging platform? If nothing else resolves the issue, enable the Do Not Disturb mode and allow exceptions for a few contacts. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.